Hi there, Knowledge Tribe. We try our best to try and find different knowledgeable people who've actually devoted their lives to the pursuit and the spread of knowledge. In fact, the entire idea of the platform of Knowledge Tribe is to help people who seek knowledge get in touch with people who are there to disperse knowledge. And it is with that idea that today it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of the most knowledgeable people that I have the privilege of knowing, the mind behind Mindcox, as he calls himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vinay Mudliar. Vinay, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. Wonderful. I like your work, what you're doing as part of Knowledge Tribe.
Thank you.
It's a
We
wonderful
did not pay
platform.
him to actually say that. Just saying.
No, it's a wonderful. The videos are really nice, and I think it should reach more children. So let's hope you keep growing with this platform which you have created.
So tell me about Mindcox. I mean, you've been a quizzer, then from quizzer you moved on to becoming a quiz master.
Yes.
What's your journey been like?
So I've been quizzing since school days, since grade 7, 8. So I started quizzing in Bangalore, and generally I'm not, you can say, not inclined towards quizzing from a very young age. Like there are some children who come from third standard, fourth standard who start quizzing, but I came in. I was more interested in cricket that time, so I came in quite little late. I think the one trigger you can say of entering the quizzing field was this quiz which used to happen on TV called the ESPN School Quiz.
Hosted by Harsha Bhogle.
By Harsha Bhogle. So I used to answer a lot actually on sitting at home and answering a lot of questions on cricket and etc. on Formula One. Now why don't I join the quiz club? And very coincidentally, that's when even Gap came into schools that time. So Gap was introduced and we joined the Gap quiz club at that time in school. So I started my journey from 8th standard, and I think after some time it kept on going, and I think by 10th standard is when the real passion for winning and passion for quizzing came across.
We
So,
speak to a lot of people who have quiz clubs, but you're like the first person I've actually known who's been a part of the quiz club. So tell me, what is the insight? What happens at a quiz club?
quiz club. So the school which I studied, St. Paul's English School, was you can say very enthusiastic about quizzing. So during that
In
time,
fact,
and
I
it
think
continues to do so.
they are defending champions at TCS ITOS right
Exactly,
now.
exactly. So St. Paul's has a huge, rich history of quizzing. So we were among the first children to start the quiz club during that time. So our principal and vice principal are very encouraging, and my other teammates and other classmates who were already part of the quiz club took me along, and that's how I joined the quiz club. So that was one way of how I came, and then from then we started. I won the gap quiz in ninth standard. I think then it kept on spiral. You can say more quizzes kept happening, and then we started going to KQA quizzes and etc. during that time, TCS, and what all quizzes happened during the ninth and 10th standard. This is way back in 2003 4, I think. Yeah, 2003 4. So that's when and that time I think quizzes, like one quiz might happen in 3 months, so we are all eagerly waiting for a quiz to come. So that, and I think that build up the, you can say, what you can, I think the enthusiasm for all children in the quiz club, we are waiting for a quiz to happen. So that was the quiz club. And the Gap book was just introduced that time, so they had a special class wherein I think that people from the Gap, from Grey Caps, used to come and have a quiz, and we all used to answer questions. I think it was post classroom time. I think post 4 o'clock, and we used to stay back, and so that was one gateway to cuisine. You
You
can
used to
say.
actually stay back after school.
Yeah, during that, and they continue to do so. They still do
Interesting.
that.
Because normally you hear like, oh no, school is done,
Correct.
I'm off.
Correct. And another thing,
Before you actually go on,
Yeah.
what happened to cricket?
cricket. I still played cricket, so I still played cricket till 10th standard.
Okay.
I was an opening batsman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sachin Tendulkar has always been a huge inspiration.
Opening batsman plus quizzer, same kind of pressure over there, spotlight on you both sides.
Yeah, you can say that. So I think then cricket slightly died down when I went for the KSCA selections, and when there were a lot of politics involved. I don't want to say
Let's not go
controversial
beyond that.
things
Okay.
here. So I think the enthusiasm died down after that. It happens. I think billion people want to become cricketers. I think it's a good path I chose. I went to quizzing, so that was one
But
thing.
that's equally competitive, isn't it? These
It is.
days?
Oh, it is. It
Even
was-
back in the day, I'd imagine it was quite competitive.
it was competitive. I think it is. I think now the number of teams have increased, but I think generally the schools have always remained the same as in the best quizzing schools. still remained the same. So the competitiveness is still the same, you can say. But I think that time quizzes were less, so we were waiting for a quiz. So the competition is even more. So you're waiting for a good quiz to come. So that's another thing which build on to the competition, you can say.
So you went to KQA, you did gap quizzes.
With gap quiz, another thing, yeah, like which I mentioned in one of the videos now, was my cousin Avinash. So Avinash was a very well-known quiz master that time, a quizzer, you can say. He was part of the KQA and did a lot of quizzes. So I used to go with Avinash for various quizzes. We used to go and sit as the audience or do scoreboard and all those small things. And he used to host this quiz, and I used to keep observing what's happening. So I think those are the things which are really helped me now to become a quiz master. We'll come to that as we keep talking. And
So interesting question though. I mean,
Yeah.
normally speaking, you look at people who have quizzers in the family or stuff like
Correct.
that. They tend to either stay away from it or like get thoroughly intimidated by the shadow of the other people. You, on the other hand, seem
Correct.
to have embraced that.
I've embraced that. So yeah, what happened? I used to specifically not attend any of his quizzes for the main purpose of people saying I won the quiz.
Nepotism.
Yeah, I won the quiz because he was the quiz master. So even another thing, we generally, me and him do not speak about quizzing as much now. We don't. It's always been a brotherly kind of relation, but people think, oh, I learned, or rather I sat with him and he has trained me, and it's not that. But I used to attend quizzes. So I used to attend of his quizzes. He used to pass on his quiz books. Quiz books were a in thing that time. So right now it's internet. So all the quiz books, he gave me my first quiz book, which was the Ask Once anniversary special that time.
The KQA.
The KQA book. So I still have that. So that's one, the first quiz book, you can say. He gave me so many things. So I think that way he helped me. So he helped me. I made it a conscious effort that I should not go to any of the quizzes he has conducted. So, like I said, the background work, I think looking at the quiz or sitting and doing the scoreboard, or what are these small intricacies which go on in a quiz, I think I learned from that. If I look back now, being a quiz master, I think those were really helpful. Way back if I'm doing that at 9th standard, 10th standard, doing a scoreboard in a huge quiz, or those are small things. I know it's a small thing to do, but for a kid of that age, I think those things help me to see what audience engagement is, or what a quiz is, how to execute a quiz. So I just kept observing what all is happening in a quiz. So those things were really helpful, and I always keep telling him that. So that's one more thing which is, so these things all happen at the same time. So he was doing really a lot of quizzes that time. So when I was in school from 9th to 12th, he used to do a lot of quizzes. So I used to keep going there and sitting in the audience. Plus I used to attend a lot of KQA quizzes. And like I said, we used to go and attend Arul sir's quizzes even though we're not participating. So we used to sit there and note down points. I think that's what is lacking nowadays in the students. I keep telling them that I think you should note down. We have my teammates and me, and we all used to have a huge book, scrapbook we used to call it that days. So we used to write down, we used to go and write down what sir is asking, write down the answers. We used to call sir and say, is this the answer for the question? It might be an open quiz, or it might be a corporate quiz or a college quiz, but we used to make sure we go and sit there. I think that is one thing which has slightly gone down now in school children. Let's see, I'm trying to do that. I'm telling them to impact children. Go visit more quizzes, or rather attend more quizzes. Then you'll have a broader view of what's happening in the quizzing field.
A lot of it does also come down to the fact that, oh no, I didn't make it to the finals. Why should I stay here now?
Exactly. I keep telling that in every quiz. I think children know that when they listen to this, they all know that I keep telling children to stay back for the finals, even though you didn't qualify, because you never know what knowledge will be useful in some other quiz. It might not be the same question, but it might be something similar. You might learn something more. So I keep doing that. We all quiz masters should keep doing this, telling children that please stay back for the finals. I think it's not the children who are at fault, it's the teachers who are at fault than the children, because generally teachers say, oh, Bangalore traffic, we need to go back home, we need to go back to take the school bus, and etc. The finals takes 1 hour. I think 1 hour.
There's a whole bunch of excuses that can be actually brought out.
So we used to stay back, and these are quizzes which are happening on a weekend, and we we used to parents used to allow us go there. We should take the BTS bus during that time, go back, go way to Canara Union or
Oh, wow.
Dali Memorial and
Or
KK quizzes
Nupatunga Hall and
KK
all
quizzes
those.
used to happen in Dali Memorial during that time.
Okay.
So opposite YMCA.
Correct.
That's what
Nupatunga Road.
Correct. Sorry. Yeah. Nupatunga Road. So we all used to travel there, sit there, note down questions, and I think that is really really important. That was our slide share. You can say this is not a, that used to be our slide share. Children nowadays just swipe across slide shares
It's
and
an interesting
prepare.
point that you make over there. I mean, you obviously put in a lot of prep even before you went into like from school to college quizzing and stuff.
Correct.
I noticed these days that like the jump is fairly phenomenal. You look at someone who takes part in a TCS ITVers and then goes on to take part in a campus crucible, for instance. The level of quizzing is just tremendously higher.
Correct.
And even like in other college level quizzes, it's suddenly like there are a whole bunch of very well prepared people just graduating 12th standard and like taking the quizzing world by storm.
Correct.
Did you face any sort of problem? Was there like any growing pains bridging that gap
Yes,
between
yes.
school and college quizzing?
Yeah, after 12th, especially after 12th, I think 10th, 11th, 12th, I think was fairly easy. It's really about getting a good teammate during that time. But after 12th, so I studied law, which is a 5-year course. That time,
So you're a quiz master and a lawyer.
and a lawyer, yeah.
Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, never ever argue for points with him. He will actually find loopholes.
No, I'm actually more fair. So I'm not a cunning lawyer. I'm more a quiz master. But yeah, so what I was saying, so 5 years into law. So that time, the first 2 years were really difficult. The first 2 years are mainly being the 5th year students or a 4th year engineering student or a 5th year law student used to win a quiz. Generally the NLSUs and the RVs and that time and the BMS college. So those three were the top teams during that time. So they used to generally win a quiz, any quiz. I think whatever college quiz happened. So we never lost hope. So we always went and like I said, stay back for the quiz, noted down points, and we kept going for all quiz. It's like cricket. So I put the theory of cricket in quizzing. It's like playing a Ranji Trophy and then going for a World Cup. So we kept playing or kept going for all quizzes. So that was really, really important. Then from 3rd year is when I think I started winning a lot of quizzes, 3rd year, 4th year and 5th year. Got a good teammate in college. I studied in Christ College, Bangalore. So I think we dominated business quizzing. A lot of quizzes that time across India. So we used to travel on our own expenses to quizzes during that time. So I think those 3 years were a huge. I think I forgot law. I just quizzed in the last 3 years of my law college.
And this is why you're a quiz master today, not a
Yeah,
lawyer.
exactly. So that I think I kept on quizzing. It kept happening. Quizzes kept happening. We kept traveling. We have traveled to various places. We have traveled all the way to Surat, Ahmedabad, Delhi. We've carried all the way down. We kept going. We bunked classes for quizzes. So I think those were really, really important, you can say, as a quiz master now. So we kept winning, and those winnings make you more confident. So obviously, you keep winning quizzes, it makes you more confident. You keep winning more quizzes. So that's what I think is very important to continue.
Momentum, the quizzing momentum that goes
is
through.
very important. Now, if you tell me now, if I go, I cannot win a crucible, very honestly, because the momentum is lost now. So very difficult to come back. That's why you're seeing, I think, many of the years, many campus crucible winners win the corporate champion because the momentum
We
is
continue the
there.
momentum, yes.
So right now the momentum is more of a conducting a quiz, you can say, but that time it was more of a participating, and we kept participating. I think for any small quiz, I think nowadays college quizzes or small whatever student quizzes look at prizes only as an incentive to come to quiz, but we used to go for a book open quiz or no prizes quiz. We kept going for any quiz which happened that time. So those are really important. Some of quizzes still do that now. There are some very good Bangalore quizzes which are doing, or rather many quizzes across the country who quiz just for the passion. So I hope they do really well.
A lot of that travel is also like helps in like creating great experiences and stuff.
Correct.
Right?
It not only actually memories. So memories. So now I can. So after so many years, I can always call my teammates, say, you remember this quiz, what we did that day? You remember that Kochi trip or the Trivandrum trip, which I already told you about my movement. So we had to travel from a bus, go away, go and take part. Immediately, no changing of dress, just go to the quiz venue, win the quiz. So those are all thrilling moments which happen during it. I think memories are the most, the best thing. I think more than the money. Money goes away in any time. So I think the memory which you create of winning a quiz with your teammate. I think that is something which I'll always cherish.
Well, it's very interesting though. I mean, there's a lot of people that look at the destination, not so much the entire journey. But you seem to be looking at more of the journey and like everything that's led up to here.
Exactly. That also comes in my quizzing, rather as a quiz master, even in Mindcogs. I have more thrill during the journey than when the quiz is completed. So my team, rather my colleagues can tell you that. So I'm more excited about when the quiz is happening, or the quiz going on, the preparation for the quiz. When the quiz is over, I'm like, okay, let's go have a biryani or something. So the quiz is done. So that's how generally I am. I think the journey is more important. That is way more important than just the destination. You reach the destination, and what more?
So how did that come? How did that attitude come through for you?
See, it is, I think, my biggest inspiration, I think many people know this and I keep telling this, been Sachin Tendulkar. So, Sachin Tendulkar, you can say, you have seen, I think, 7 World Cups, then winning a World Cup. 7, I think, 6 or 7, correct. 6 or 7 World Cups, and then winning.
Yeah, 2000, in the 6th one he won.
6th one, correct. So, 6th one, and then winning his World Cup. So, that, I think, the determination or the passion for keep on going. So that is, I think I take my entire cue from him, because like I said, from the age of 3 or 4 years, I've just kept on watching Tendulkar. So Tendulkar has been like a huge inspiration. Even his big poster is behind my bed. You can say, which I created when I was a school kid. It's still there. So Tendulkar has been one. So I think that journey that's why I keep telling children, it's about the journey, about playing. It's like playing cricket, playing Ranji Trophy, playing all the matches and then winning a World Cup. So that is really very important. Even I can say Crucible has always been a World Cup. Till now, I've never won a Crucible. So let's hope I win that World Cup.
You have the dream of doing it.
I have the dream to win once. I've always been runner-up twice. I've never won that title. So let's see someday, like how Tendulkar after 6-7 years, 6-7 World Cups, wins the Crucible title.
You're still young. There's lots of time.
There's a lot of time. That's the best thing about corporate.
You can never retire.
You can never retire.
Until so much as you decide, okay, no more.
Correct. So you can never retire. In college, okay, we're waiting. Final year ends and no more quizzing.
So yeah, you actually have to like about until you're 65 to take part.
65. Let's touch wood. Let's hope the quiz keeps going. So
I hope so too.
I know.
No, but that's a very interesting take, because I mean, like I said, the journey by itself might be seen by many as like, okay, fine, we took part in a quiz, we didn't win. What's the point?
Correct.
And it's how do you stay motivated then? Like, despite the fact that you didn't win, how is that thirst for knowledge still there within you?
That's what, like I said, it's about winning the World Cup, irrespective of the other tournaments. See, even in a sport, football, cricket, everyone is training to win a World Cup. So you're training. Suppose for anybody, somebody maybe Crucible might be their quizzing World Cup, or Landmark quiz might be their quizzing World Cup. Whatever it is, any quiz, big quiz. But the journey to that quiz, see, Crucible just happens a year, or Landmark quiz happens once a year. But there are 100 more quizzes which you go towards that main quiz.
All the prep points, basically.
And you can win all those quizzes. So with the same knowledge, or with your entire research, you can keep winning quizzes. It's not only about winning the World Cup. It's winning about even the 100 centuries are more important than just winning the World Cup. So I think the journey and winning other quizzes. So that's what I kept telling myself, or rather consoling myself when I lost Crucible, is that we won other quizzes all the way. So we have dominated the entire quizzing industry at that time. It's okay to not just win a World Cup. So have that confidence of, who knows, next quiz you'll do well. Keep going for the next quiz. So always keeping smaller aims with keeping the larger aim at the entire process.
So that was part 1 Knowledge Tribe. Stay tuned as we come back with part 2 with more Vinay Mudaliar.